To display yes or no type of option, we have to use checkbox. I will give an example. Suppose, do you know Notepad? In Notepad, there is a simple option, that is match case. There is an option called match case option here. Match case option is like yes or no type of option. Do you want to match the case or not? So if you just click on that, okay, the checkbox is checked. If you click again, it will be unchecked. Match case, yes or no type, yes or no type. So it's like a question, do you want to match the case or not? If the user wants that match case option, he will check the checkbox. Otherwise, he will uncheck the checkbox. So checkbox is exactly used for displaying yes or no type of option. So for other example, remember me or keep me signed in. So this is also an option, like yes or no type of option. If the user wants to keep him signed in himself, then he will check the checkbox. Otherwise, he will uncheck the checkbox. For another example, like for example, user is opening a new bank account and do you want checkbook facility or not? It's an option. So if the user wants the checkbook facility, he will check the checkbox. Otherwise, he will uncheck the checkbox. So these are all the real examples of the checkbox. So in our example, I am trying to create receive newsletters. If the user wants to receive the newsletters, he will uncheck the checkbox. He will check the checkbox. Otherwise, he will uncheck the checkbox. So in order to add the checkbox here, we have to use input type equal to checkbox. Input type equal to checkbox. Now he can see the checkbox. Checkbox he can see. Now once he check the checkbox, he means he wants to receive the newsletters. Otherwise, he will uncheck the checkbox. Similarly, sometimes you would like to display yes or no type, a set of options. Option 1, option 2, option 3, n number of options are required for you. Out of n number of options, user must select any one option. In case if you want to display a set of options and allow the user to select any one of them, we have to use this radio button. Radio button is basically used to display a set of options, two or more options. Any one should be selected means he has to go for radio button. See, for example, gender, male, female. Otherwise, payment status, payment completed or not received. Otherwise, payment mode, debit card, credit card, net banking or wallet. So any one of these options should be selected means he has to go for radio button. In order to create each radio button, we have to use input type equal to radio. By giving input type equal to radio, we can create any number of radio buttons. Okay, let's create the same in the program. Input type equal to radio. Suppose we have created 3 radio buttons or 4 radio buttons we have created. Now we can see 4 radio buttons, but the problem is by default all the radio buttons are by default selected. It's not correct, right? Out of few, only one should be selected, right? So how do we group them? By using the name attribute. Name is equal to some name is required. For example, I am going to prepare like ABC. Same name must be provided for all the radio buttons. Same name. By providing the same name, we are able to group them. So among few, only one can be selected right now. We have given a same name, so automatically by giving the same name, these radio buttons are grouped up together. Among these 4, only one can be selected. In case if you have another group, for another group we can give a different name. Okay. Now next, after this, I am trying to place a meaningful option. For example, payment mode is option, and we have options like debit card, credit card, net banking and wallet. These are the 4 options we are trying to provide. So user can select any one, but here there is a small inconvenience. User must click on that particular circle, then only it is being selected. If you click on the particular text, for example, I click on the credit card text, the item is not selecting. See, because as of now technically there is no relation between the text and radio button. Text is separate, the radio button is separate, no connection between them. That's the reason if you click on the particular text credit card, the corresponding radio button is not being selected. How do we give the connection? We have to convert this text as a label by giving label tag. Then we can connect the same to the radio button easily. See, let's do it. So first we have to place label tag. In the label tag, we have to use the for attribute. For label for equal to some ID is required. For example, radio button 1 R1. R1 is for radio button. Same like this, we are going to prepare the other labels too. R2, R3, R for radio button I am giving, R4. Now after these radio buttons, sorry, just a minute, here I must provide ID. Okay, ID must be there. ID is equal to R1, R2, R3, R4. So here the rule is, in the for attribute, what is the ID we have mentioned, same ID must be declared in the corresponding radio button. Okay, now we have given correctly. So we need not only click on the particular circle, we can now click on the text also. If you click anywhere in the text, the item is being selected, notice there. Okay. Then also, I want to accept some amount. In order to accept the amount value, since it is a numerical value, we have to give input type equal to number. Amount means a numerical value, right? So we have to give input type equal to number. Input type equal to number will accept only numbers. If I am typing alphabets and click on submit, it is displaying error. It is saying that please enter a number. So if you type any by mistake accidentally alphabets or any other symbols, it is not accepting. Only the pure numbers accepted. If I am typing only the pure number, it's accepted. And here there is no minimum maximum. If you click on decrease button, here it is decreasing like anything, and if you click on increase button, it is increasing like anything. There is no limit by default, but we are able to specify the limit. I mean the minimum and maximum value we are able to specify. For example, as per the site requirement, minimum you want to accept 0, maximum 10,000. So we can specify the minimum and maximum explicitly. Suppose minimum 0, maximum 10,000. So this particular range only we can accept. Now you can have a look at once. So I just say 0, minimum 0. I mean I'm clicking on the decrease button, it is not decreasing anymore. In case if you are typing manually, suppose negative value if you are typed, it is displaying a message saying that please enter the value that is no less than 0. It is showing error message. And if you type more than 10,000, something like this, it will show error message saying that please enter a value that is no more than 10,000. So, and there is a problem here. Suppose user wants to enter 9,500 really with the mouse. He is clicking on up button. How much incrementing at a time? Only one incrementing at a time each time. So in order to reach 9,500 like this, so it will take a long time. Check it. It is incrementing very slowly. In order to reach 9,500, it is very slow. So in order to overcome this problem, we have an attribute called step attribute. If you mention step equal to, for example, 100, so each time it will increment by 100. So every single time when we click on increment button, 100 will be incremented. Then it will be very easy to reach the 9,500 as expected. Okay. So that's why it is recommended to provide a step in case of large values. And if you click on submit button, the values must be submitted to server. In order to submit the values, compulsory every element, every radio button or checkbox, every file button or text box must be having the name. If you don't have provided a name, that value will not be submitted to server. See, for example, in the first text box I am providing name is equal to some name, for example the student name. So in this place we can give any name, but similarly for all the text boxes, for all the other elements also we have to provide the name. What is the benefit of providing the name? With that name only the value will be submitted to server. So I am just adding the name for all the radio buttons. for every input tag, and name is not required for label tag. Name is required only for input tag in all the flavors of input tag. For example, here newsletters, here value also we have to provide, for example, yes. So in case if this checkbox is selected, then only this newsletters equal to yes will be submitted, otherwise not. And also for this radio buttons, already we have given name. Let's make it as payment mode is a name. Try to provide the meaningful names for the name attribute. And also we have to provide the value. For example, here value is debit card. Here the value credit card. Here net banking. And here the value is wallet. Right. So we have provided the name. Even here name is equal to amount. So what is the benefit of providing the name? I will show practically. Suppose my name is Scott. Email scott@gmail.com. Phone number something. And selecting some picture. Also selecting the receive newsletters and credit card. Some amount. Now after entering some details, I click on submit button. So it is automatically sending the data to server. For your readability purpose, I am just copying this and pasting somewhere in the notepad. Okay, now we can just verify here. So you can notice exactly this part. So this part includes the actual values that are being submitted to server. Here student name is a name, Scott is a value. Where we have given the name is given by the developer here. Value is given by the user here. So names are always given by developers, values are always given by users. So similarly, email is a name, Scott is a value. Okay, phone number is a name, this is the value, like this, and so on. So that's why in order to submit, compulsory you require to specify the name. Name is required. Okay, now let's add some more number of things. I want to add the drop down list. To create the drop down list, we have to specify, suppose country, we require select. We have to use select tag in order to create the drop down list. Inside the select tag, that means inside the drop down list, we can place any number of items. Every item inside the drop down list must be represented as option tag. So we have to use option tag. To specify the options, we have to use option tag. What are the options of the country? Any country names, for example India, any other country names we are able to specify. I am just adding some of the country names. Okay, a list of countries I am trying to provide. Okay. Now here we are able to choose any one of the list of countries. Okay. Now we are able to choose anyone. For example, I am selecting United States of America. So I just click on the submit button. Now this value is being submitted to server. Now we can notice. Sorry, so we forgot to specify the name. Name is must. For example, I am selecting country. Name is equal to country. So I am just selecting China. Click on submit. Copy the value and verify here. Now you can see country is equal to China is submitted. So what values we have been submitting there, that values are being submitting to server, sending to server. Okay. Now I want to allow the user to select multiple options. To allow the user to select multiple options, we have to add an attribute called multiple equal to multiple. Multiple is equal to multiple. This will allow the user to choose multiple items at a time. So multiple equal to multiple. So this is allowing you to choose multiple options. So I am selecting more than one option by clicking on control click. By using control click, we are able to choose multiple options. Now we can choose, now you can see all the countries, whatever selected is being submitted to server. Okay, so in order to cross verify, to create the text box we have to use input type equal to text. To create the email text box we have to use input type equal to email. In order to accept that phone number we have to give input type equal to text, but we have to specify the pattern to accept the pattern value. Similarly, for accepting the file browse button input type equal to file, to accept the checkbox we have to give input type equal to checkbox for displaying yes or no type of option. And among few, only one option should be selected means we have to use radio button. And to accept the numbers we have to give input type equal to number. And among few, only one option should be selected means drop down list, that is select tag. Like this, in HTML we have several types of form elements such as name, text box, password text box, checkbox, ready button, drop down list. Like this, several types of elements can be created. By using the form tags, we are able to create the several types of element. What we have created, the form tag is used to create the form element. Input tag is used to create several types of elements, text boxes, check boxes, ready button, drop down list, submit button, anything. Many types of form elements are created by using input tag. But did you notice one difference? Form is a paired tag, input is unpaired tag. That is the reason form tag should be having opening plus closing tag also. But input tag should not be having closing tag because input is an unpaired tag. Unpaired tags should always contain the single tag. The same itself is opening come closing. Similarly, we also have other tags like a text area tag to create the multi-line text box. To create the multi-line text box, text area tag is required. For example, you want to accept the description or comments or any multiple lines of notes kind of text you want to accept. For accepting the multiple lines of text, we have to use text area. Okay. So, this type of text area and other type of elements we will see in the next lesson. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I welcome you all to today's session. Today we're going to start a brand new session, and this is very, very specific to one particular organization. And as a part of APSSDC's initiative, we did this program since last 2 years, and it led to a huge success. I pretty much remember last year we started this in Kurnool and few other places, and roughly there are close to 5,000 to 6,000 people got placed in this organization. And this particular company is one of the top most ID company, not just in India but the entire world. And getting into this organization is definitely a dream for a lot of people who are either from engineering background or BSc background. It doesn't really matter, because this company recognizes the skills that you bring on table and how that can be improved to meet the expectation of the company as well as the client. And this is a pure Indian IT company which started way back, even before Wipro or say Infosys was a big name. So I'm sure you can take a guess which company I'm talking about, and this is Tata Consultancy Services, which is TCS. So as far as the TCS placement is concerned, the program is getting started again, and AP State Skill Development Corporation, as a part of the ongoing initiative, wants to make sure that we help you with the initial learning in order to clear the assessments. So what exactly happens as a part of the selection process? First and foremost, you need to remember that you need to have a strong academic background. You should be scoring minimum of 60% and above, across your academic career, which is +2 as well as your graduation, and you got to be really good in the fundamentals. But what the company doesn't talk about is certain aspect which they will assess you on as far as the placement process is concerned, and this is where APSSDC program is going to help you. For the next 10 days, I'm going to take you through certain aspects of this entire placement process. So this is more of a recruitment training that you're going to go through. In order to understand what this training is going to be, you need to know what is the pattern of the selection. So here goes the pattern of the entire selection. The first step is going to be the written round, which is an online test. So please remember, the first step is the online test. I'm going to pause here so that you can make a note of these details. So the sections on the placement, there are 4 different sections: email writing skills, quantitative aptitude, the TCS-C MCQ, and the last one is coding test. So when we talk about MCQ, this is more of a technical aspect, and coding test, again, there will be a situation given to you and you need to write a code. The total time given for the coding test is 20 minutes. For the C MCQ is 20 minutes. You will have quantitative aptitude before that, 20 questions, 40 minutes. So you basically get 2 minutes per question. That's a whole lot. And then you have email writing. You will have to write 1 email which will ask for, you will be given a 10-minute timeline to write that email. So I'm going to pause here. Please make a note of these aspects. What do we mean by number of star mark question? I will explain to you, but please make a note of these points. All right, let's begin. So you will have email writing. So essentially what happens in an email writing is you will be given a particular topic and you need to write an email which is absolutely relevant and related to that particular topic. It's very important. You need to understand why this is very critical. Now, in order to explain the importance and the significance of it, let me tell you the reality. The first phase of TCS recruitment that happened across Andhra Pradesh, and APSSDC was instrumental in imparting the skills, the recruitment training. 90% of the students did very well in quantitative aptitude, but they failed in email writing skills. Now, what exactly goes wrong in email writing skills? I will take you through that. We will have a very